Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Mr. Fletcher's Neighborhood. This episode really ties in with an art exhibit that I went to visit, that I went to actually take a look at in the Museum of Fine Arts. The name of the exhibit was based on the work of an artist by the name of Jean-Michel Basquiat. Jean-Michel Basquiat, yes, was a person of color. His father was of Haitian descent, while his mother was of Puerto Rican descent. My roots are very similar to that of his, and I definitely love art. Any chance I get to see something that actually speaks to me or I think speaks volumes, I do my best to go ahead and check it out. So, as I've done more research, I came to find out there was a book that was written for you all, and I'm going to present it. The name of the book is called Radiant Child, right here. And yes, kids, this does tell the story of an artist who came from a background that's considered, that is somewhat unlikely, considered to be unlikely for a successful artist, but he'll prove a lot of the naysayers wrong. And I will definitely show you how he proves people wrong, getting to the pinnacle of his career. This book right here actually won a Caldecott Medal. So that definitely gives a lot of weight. Shows you that this is a serious publication. Okay, without further ado, here is Radiant Child. Let's go. Somewhere in Brooklyn, between hearts that thump, double dutch and hopscotch, and salty mouths that slurp sweet ice, a little boy dreams of becoming a famous artist. In his house, you can tell a serious artist dwells. He sits at a table with pencils scattered everywhere. Jean-Michel draws from morning until night with a serious face amidst a storm of papers. He refuses to sleep until he's created a masterpiece. At night, images enchant Jean-Michel's mind, and he wakes from his dreams to add one more line. His drawings are not neat or clean, nor does he stay inside the lines. They're sloppy, ugly, and sometimes weird, but somehow still beautiful. His art comes from his mother Matilda, a Puerto Rican woman who designs and sews, cooks and cleans, and makes the house look like a stylish magazine. But most important, she lies on the floor and draws with Jean-Michel on his father's old work papers. From her, he learns that art is not in the poetry books she reads to him or in the theaters and museums that they visit. Art is the street games of little children. It's in our style and the words that we speak. It's how the messy patchwork of the city creates meaning for ordinary things. While visiting the museum, they look at his favorite works of art. And reading the story behind each artist, reading the story behind each work, this is how Jean-Michel learns what it means to become a famous artist. Back at home, he creates art on his floor as his father Gerard plays jazz records. Mama Matilda cooks arroz con pollo and calls Jean-Michel mi amor, which means my love. The energy and life of the city can be felt in each line of his drawings.
As time goes by, Jean-Michel learns that art has a healing power. After a car accident, he's scared and confused. Matilda gives him a book to calm his fears. It's filled with pictures of bones, skulls, and other body parts. Jean-Michel draws from it until he knows it all by heart, and he's no longer afraid. But back at home, while Jean-Michel's body heals, his heart breaks. His heart breaks. His mother's mind is not well, and the family breaks. She no longer lies on the floor and draws with Jean-Michel. But she sits by the window, singing only to birds. Jean-Michel is confused and filled with a terrible blues. It's when Matilda can no longer live at home. He tries drawing the terrible out of his blues, but things are not the same. As Jean-Michel grows older, he visits his mother when he can, always bringing his artwork to show, telling her one day it will be in a museum. When I am a famous artist. A teenager now, Jean-Michel decides, Papa, I'll be very, very famous one day. With a sly look and a twinkle in his eye, Jean-Michel leaves Brooklyn for New York City in the Lower East Side, a concrete jungle where only the tough survive. During the day, dressed in a green jumpsuit splattered with paint, Jean-Michel stays with friends, sleeping on couches and floors, leaving a barrage of collages and poem-filled papers everywhere he goes. Everywhere he goes. But at night, Jean-Michel sprays the walls downtown in poems with drawings that catch the eye of artists, gallery goers, and passers-by. Under his art, he signs the name Samu instead of Jean-Michel. And everybody wants to know, who is Samu? Samu, who we know as Jean-Michel, moves from street corners to art gallery walls with color composition and line collaging and painting on anything he could find. His art is still not clean and definitely not inside the lines, but somehow still beautiful. And with his magical charm, Jean-Michel draws a crowd, but when it's time to work, he prefers to be alone, with the radio and TV on full blast. Now, in expensive suits, splattered with paint, he flips through stacks of magazines and open books, and paints into the night, and sometimes for days at a time, while sounds and images jump into his head. Jean-Michel, an artist among artists, never doubts one line, creating a soundtrack that is all his own. People describe him as radiant, wild, a genius child. But in his heart, he's a king, so he draws crowns for himself and all the others that he admires. A grown man now, with the art world in his hands, Jean-Michel still visits his mother when he can. And at his most important shows, above all the critics, fans, and the artists he admires, the place of honor is his mother's, a queen on the throne. And he's now a famous artist.
Yes, and that surely was a radiant story for me to read. Hopefully, you feel the same way. Let those words radiate within you. And do not be afraid. Be driven to let the goodness within you radiate for other people to feel. Energy, I do believe, is contagious, and good energy, if you emit good energy, you emit positive energy, people are sure to pick up on that. Same way that Basquiat emitted his energy, the same way that Basquiat was radiant, is how you can be radiant, whether you choose to be an artist or if you have a desire to pick any other profession when you become a grown-up. Okay. Hope you enjoyed this reading. That's it for today. This has been another episode of Mr. Fletcher's Neighborhood. Okay, and I can say it a million times, but this will be the last time I say it in this episode, and that's be radiant. Take care.